We're back with an update on what happened at this mall in Florida, folks. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. And I got into it over on my main channel, but we're going to be getting into a number of things I did not cover over there, show you some footage I didn't show. We're going to get into a lot of details here, folks. It is kind of interesting how this story kind of came out, folks. We had 200 cops apparently there. It wasn't what I thought it was. I was thinking, I was suspecting it was about 100 cop cars. Now, theoretically, it could have been just 100 with 2 cops in each car, but apparently from what we have gathered after so many days later is it was approximately 200 cops that showed up at this mall in Miami. Now, they're all claiming, again, this is a result of merely 4 to 30 teenagers playing with fireworks, folks. That's why they brought 200 cops there. And of course, also on top of that, we have multitudes of people that claim to have been at the mall. We have videos now, video footage as well of these alleged beings I'm going to show you in this video. And what's interesting about it is there's like more and more people coming out saying that they were there and they saw it. So we'll be getting into that and much more in this video. As we get into it, I'm going to show you also some new stuff that I was not able to get into. Also a phone call that someone mentioned in the comment section about a son calling his father who worked in the police, who said that he couldn't tell him anything. But before we get into all that, much more, first of all, I got to mention Food Supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. We have a 3 months worth for $5.97. They also still have the 1 month worth. You can go check it out. They have multiple options. Also, they have the self-powered indoor space heater and stove, which is only $169.55, almost $100 off. Link is in the description for both these things, folks. Definitely, if you didn't have electricity, this would be something you would definitely want to have. Also has canned meat that comes with it. 24 cans worth. Link is in the description for that. Also, of course, this book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity, How to Build a Cellar, Do Things Around the House Like they did in the old days. Hundreds of pages illustrated. You're going to definitely want to get this book. They're talking about potentially five WARs could be happening this year. We are already embroiled in 3. Okay? That seemed to never end, of course. But now they're talking perhaps we'll actually be getting involved in 2 more. 2 more. So hopefully not, but it's always wise to be prepared. Get the printed version of this book. Link is in the description. Also, Gold and Silver is linked below as well. And my website, GR Videos, I just updated it. And I also have a number of videos that are continuations of what I talk about here on YouTube, where I just get into much more detail. And I probably will do it also with this topic. I've done it with the last 2 50-minute long videos that cover stuff I was talking about in previous videos. But anyway, let's get back to the video. So we got a lot of stuff to cover in this video. The fact is we had also another sighting that happened only a few days later after what happened in this mall in Miami. We had in Brazil, of all places, 2 10-foot beings spotted on Hilltop days after sighting in the Miami malls. Now, what's interesting about this is I've actually seen this multiple times, things like this in Brazil, Peru, a lot of places in South America. There's even there's a channel here on YouTube called That Is Impossible. I've talked to him, I think, once before. We were actually supposed to have him on a live stream like 6 years ago. He's got like over 1 million subs now. He covers all these strange things seen around us. Let me just show you his channel just so you can see it, because a lot of people may not even remembered him. If I could type, I can't type here. Yeah, here we go. So it's this channel right here. This guy right here. He's got a lot of really interesting videos of footage. And I used to do videos kind of like his back in 2019. James LaFleur is his name. But he's got a lot of interesting stuff in here, folks. And he has one video where he goes into and talks about a lot of these beings like this. There's like multitudes of videos from Brazil and South America where they find they have these giant beings on hillsides. And what's interesting also is that recent tail end of last year, we had Timothy, Albareno cover what happened in a Peruvian village. I actually have an update on that around here somewhere. Where is that at? Okay, here we go. Nope, that's not it. I got, like usual, a million. Here we go. So he was recently interviewed about this. He actually went to this village in Peru where apparently some beings that were about 8 foot tall again, they were floating on some sort of, I get lack of a better word, hoverboards. They were on hoverboards or some sort, allegedly. Futuristic, they were going in the middle of the jungle into this village. And they were causing all this, chaos there, trying to do things. Take, of course, people, things like that. These beings were very futuristic, 8 foot tall. They weren't exactly what you would call human, folks. And here's an example of one of them. This is basically at nighttime. This is a building. This is the roof of the building. You can see the light shining off the top of the roof right here. And you can see this thing is actually hovering above the roof. And they were actually they were like flashing the light back and forth on it to kind of give you an outlook of or outline of what the being looked like. And believe it or not, it looked kind of like it was sort of insect or like a praying mantis kind of, sort of like a human, human sort of type of version, I guess you would call it. It was very strange. I don't know what to make of it. Of course, this guy, Timothy, went there to the village. This guy right here I'm showing on the screen, went to the village, interviewed the people, got some footage, got some photos and all this kind of stuff and all the story of what happened. And he documented it and put out a documentary on his channel under his name. Just go do a search and you can find it. But it's interesting how we've had so many stories in this realm. We had first the Las Vegas crash. That was early last year. Then we had this at the tail end of last year. And now we have this Miami Mall this year, at the beginning of this year. So we have all these different stories coming out. And like I said, we're going to be getting into a lot of details regarding this Miami Mall, what happened there. Of course, obviously they're sort of making fun of this. Oh, look, see you guys, it was just a bunch of teens with fireworks. And I called it when I said that there were no airports that closed down. I called that on my last video. I also I said that these cops probably saw nothing. And I proved it because there was this one video everyone was showing, which I got the highest resolution I could find of it. This one right here, they were all claiming that this was an example. This was the 8-foot, creature right here. And I found the highest resolution I could find a video. And as you can play it, you can see very clearly it's 3 people walking. It's 3 people walking. It's not a being. And of course, now they've come out with an article a day or so later, basically yesterday, I think they came out with the article asking these cops, did you see, what is this video? Did you see a giant creature right there? And of course they're like, no, we didn't. And that's what it says right here. This is actually the article. They're actually highlighting something from the article right here on Google. And they're saying no aliens, no unidentified objects, et cetera, no airports closed. And I called it. I said that the cops didn't see it. I was right. I said there was no airports closed. I was correct as well. Notice they didn't say anything about no power outages. I said there were power outages. They didn't contradict that. So what's interesting, though, is like I said, they came after the fact. After all this stuff happened, then the cops showed up. Also, if you look at this guy's story of what happened, he says that at first he saw grannies and overweight people running as fast as they could, and he knew that something wasn't right. And it was definitely time to get out of there, because if you got granny running full tilt, there's something not right, right? So he starts running, and then he says when he looks behind him, he sees this thing. It's like 8 to 10 foot tall, some dark figure, and it would disappear and then reappear closer to him. So if it really was something that could easily disappear anytime it wanted to, of course it's not going to show itself to everybody. It's going to just disappear, reappear, disappear, and then everyone's just going to think those people are crazy that saw it. You see what I mean? Then we have this clip here, folks. They're saying is also from the Miami Mall. Let's look at this and just analyze it. This is rather curious. It's obviously a black or dark sort of being. It obviously isn't human, not rocket science. It looks to be very tall. Not sure how tall it is. Could it be walking on all fours. The question is, could it stand up? I don't know. Let's just check this out. It seems to be walking sort of slow in a sense. Whatever this thing is. Question is this thing legit? They're having a slowdown here. Do you think this could be it, folks? That's the question I have for you. Do you think this could be it? It does have very long legs. Some people were saying they had very long legs and didn't look human. Or do you think this thing is not real, that this is maybe some sort of computer generated? It's hard to tell these days with any of these type of videos. It is kind of interesting, though. We had this one come out. This is clearly a sidewalk at nighttime near a town or maybe a mall, and maybe this is in the exact area. I'm not sure. The question is this an actual being that was seen on a CCTV, or was this added in? If it was done pretty well. It's got the shadowing. It's got everything. They would have spent some time on it for sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, and let's get on to the next thing. So, again, like I said, I'm not saying this is necessarily true, what these people are saying, but I don't believe the story that it was just simply a few teens with fireworks. That makes literally no sense that they would have 200 cops there for that. That's just absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to show you some new stuff in this video. This was something that someone said in the comment section. They were talking about how a son of one of these cops did some FaceTime with his father on the phone, asked him these questions, and he videotaped it. As you can see here, and he said he's not allowed to talk about it. All right, so he is not allowed to talk about what occurred. Now, that I thought was kind of interesting. So perhaps the cops were told they were not able to talk about this topic in an official capacity on their own. They were told to just be quiet about it. Now, what's interesting is I'm going to show you a few different videos here. This was one I showed before partially, but I didn't show this part. There's something interesting I noticed when I looked back through it. Okay, I'm going to show you some new stuff as well, a new video as well, but I want to show you this first. So what's interesting about this, is it going to show it yet? Yeah, here you are. You see that? It's like something flickering right there. Let me back up. Let's see if I can get it. Let me pause it. Let me get it closer. Okay, so you'll see something right here flickering. If I can get my mouse on the screen, right here. Actually, let me back it up a little bit more. Here we go. And that's not the only spot it does it on the screen. This thing actually moves. Okay, this thing moves. Whatever it is, it shows up like gray colored on the camera. It actually moves. And another YouTuber got a snapshot of it at another position. You can see here this gray like film on the screen. And again, what's sort of annoying about this is the guy who got this video, he just needs to upload the actual original video. Instead, what he did is he had his friend with a camera recording his phone playing it, so I'm like showing you the third or fourth version of this. You know what I mean? This is like completely blurred out at this point. So it would be much better if the guy just got the original and uploaded it. And maybe he never got to it, and I don't know what happened there, or maybe it's got lost. And honestly, with these TikToks, the four out of the 8 links I had open for the TikToks from literally 2 days ago no longer work. Apparently TikTok is going around, of course, deleting all these videos as well, which is another thing that sucks. So as soon as they go up, sometimes they get deleted, unfortunately. But you can see here, there's something gray moving around, very strange, whatever that is. I don't know what that is, okay? And perhaps this is what they're referring to, what they saw. This is something that's showing up on the screen. All right, so there's one example. That was the one video I talked about last time, but I didn't notice that before when I looked at it. Let's see, what else do we got here? We got some other stuff as well. I want to show you, where is it at? Yeah, here we go. So there's this other one, and I think I have to agree with Casper site here. I think it is probably fake. All right, I'm going to play it here, folks. And I think I have to agree with Casper's site. I do think it is. I think he's right. I think this one is an AI generated video on this one. And this is the problem with pretty much anything you see on social media these days, because now we have this capability with AI to pretty much generate things that look real. So that's the issue. I mean, honestly, the blurry stuff might be more trustworthy. I know it sounds weird, but whenever it's like really good quality, it might be AI. And I think in this case, he's correct. Let's play this. You'll see what I'm getting at.
I'm going to play it first, and then we're going to go back, and I'm going to tell you something about this.
Bro. Everyone's going this way.
Okay, so you see how this guy's much taller and it kind of blurs out or something. And the video isn't much longer. It's pretty much the same thing, but I think this guy's right in what he said, because he shows how it mirrors right here. Yeah, it's not showing it now. Okay, let me see if I can get it in the right spot. Yeah, here we are. Right before that. Is it right there? Let's see if I can find it. Oh, goodness, I'm almost there. There it is. Okay, so you can see here in this frame, it has like a mirror image on both sides. Kind of a mirror image look. That right there looks like something AI would do. There's also another factor where her hand, and he pointed this out, her hand looks weird. And AI is known for doing weird stuff like that with hands and stuff. Can I show it on the screen? Not really. There it is. Okay, you can see her hand. Her hand looks weird, as you can see there. It doesn't look like a normal hand. And these are allegedly these tall beings. So I think they just had an AI chat GPT. Hey, make a mall scene where you have giant aliens coming in there. Oh, okay. So I think that's what that probably is. And actually, I got some other stuff to show you guys. I showed this. This one actually is I think this one here is a legitimate video. And what's interesting about it is it keeps getting deleted. Like, it got deleted off TikTok, and there's almost no examples of this on YouTube either, really. There's a couple. There's a couple channels. There's actually a channel that got 300,000 views that has this video. But there's very few people that have this video out anywhere. And I showed this in the last video. It's rather curious what happens. This is from what I understand, this is a Chinese mall. And something shows up while they're all just sitting there at the mall. Let me show you this. Oh, go. Apparently I can't click things. Look, see, the people freak out. They're like falling off their chair and stuff and running. Look, this lady falls. See, something's showing up right here. Everyone's trying to run and falling over themselves, tripping and everything, because they're just like, what is good? This guy's actually recording it. He's got his camera out. Like, this guy's got some, you know what. And then these two guys are the ones that are like kind of recording it. They like try to walk up to it, whatever it was. This happened, I think, 2 years ago or something. You can see they got the masks on and stuff. And they're trying to walk up to it. So now you could say, I think this is pretty obvious that this is all authentic, this part. The question is the part that was shown right here authentic? And my thing is, could they have erased something right here and then replaced it with something else? And what I was saying in the last video is, I don't think they would have replaced. It's definitely not just two people, fighting or something right there. Obviously, if people are not going to be stumbling over themselves over that, they're not going to be like this. Look at this lady; she's just like flying right there. Okay, that's something very, very strange happening there. It's clearly not normal. And honestly, the only thing I could think of is something like just appearing out of nowhere, or something very strange happening right there that would make people act like that. And what's showing on the screen right there could be what it was. And even if it wasn't exactly what it was, clearly it's not something normal, whatever happened here. It's not like, Timmy dropped his ice cream cone, or, some dude's fighting. It's clearly something way more than that, right? Not rocket science. Somebody didn't spill something either. I mean, give me a break. very clearly something ridiculous happened, and it's probably this. It might not be edited, and maybe they exaggerated what was here. Maybe it was just a little light, or maybe it was a big light. I don't know what happened. It could be just this big light showing here. I don't know. But clearly something happened there. And this was in a mall from like, I think 2 years ago. But very few people have seen that video. And so that's probably a legit one. And that's probably how you would react. Like this AI one, no one's even reacting. They're just like standing there, oh, okay, great. Let's just walk around with these really tall dudes. Like that's how you would react. You clearly would not react that way. So, and then look, that sounds like something AI would create. Like when you tell it to create some tall, whatever creatures, it would be like making something like that, and it wouldn't make it look realistic because it wouldn't even understand what you're trying to present unless you thoroughly explained it to it. Then it might actually be able to create it. I don't know, but even then it would probably still have the weird hands and like the mirror stuff and all that, like a dream look like it does. But at any rate, it wouldn't look as realistic as this other one I showed you just a second ago. This one looks real because people are like literally running all over them, tripping over themselves, falling out of their chairs and stuff. And then you got the guys that have bravery that are like trying to record whatever it is. Like, what is this? So that sounds that looks far more like what would actually happen. And of course, the question is, because we've seen these strange things happening, we have all these other things happening around us as well. We even had some weird thunderstorms in Florida right around the exact same time this happened. And so there's some of that going on as well. And of course, on top of that, you have Zuckerberg sold nearly $500 million of Meta stock in the last 2 months. This is on top of all these other CEOs, Jamie Dimon, the Waltons from the Walmart. All these top CEOs and owners of these companies are selling tons of shares all out of nowhere, most they've ever sold, just like we saw back in 2020, right before the whole happened and everything was closed. Almost like they know something. And of course, on top of that, all these guys are really into preparing for, of course, apocalypse, building their bunkers and things like that. Makes you kind of wonder, what do they know that we don't, folks? That's the question. I'm kind of wondering what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.